Choo choo! Ha 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 ha!
Well, hello everyone. What is going on? It is April the 2nd. So there won't be any pranks today because we'd be a day late. And it is Thursday, 7:08. So we're only 8 minutes late going live. But I am joined today by the one and only Fuzzy Belvedere, and we're gonna have some fun. What's up, Fuzz?
Not much. Been looking at a lot of, I guess, good news for Xbox with the FanFest right around the corner, and
Mhm.
been trying to get ready for this weekend for a our first filming for our own horror short. So
Nice,
uh,
man.
get all that stuff together has been like running around like a chicken with his head chopped off. But
Yeah.
Saturday's the filming. We're praying for clear skies. Well, even if it's just partly cloudy, that's fine as long as there's no rain.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't feel like using a clear trash bag to
Yeah.
cover the cameras and stuff.
That sounds like fun, man. Um, Should be cool, dude. I can't wait to see that whenever you end up finishing it. I can't. Like, how long are you shooting for, for
We
short?
have we have a rough guesstimate of around 3 to 4 hours. It's only going to be like a 5 or 6 minute short,
Okay,
but
that's
we
what I
want to
meant.
make
Yeah,
sure we get enough like repeats of lines and things like that, so we have a lot to choose from,
yeah.
different angles and stuff like that. We'll be doing some B-roll stuff, and we're going to be doing our first special effects with not a blood pack, but like the you know I don't even remember what they call it now, but it's not really a squib per se, but I guess it'll work like a squib. But we're going to be working with that and Hollywood style props as far as weapons. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, man. That sounds like fun. Just doing it sounds like fun. You know. Yeah. Speaking of horror movies, uh, me and Kate watched The Substance last night.
Mm.
Yeah, I know you watched it because, like, I remember you and your wife talking about it on y'all's podcast, right? And
Mhm.
I gotta say, man, that was a really good movie.
Yeah.
It was a really good movie. Like, you know how people say there's no original ideas and stuff anymore or anything like that. Like, I have never seen anything like The Substance. That was a completely original idea, and we both loved it. Like, Kate, a lot of times, kind of checks out sometimes during movies, and
Mhm.
like she was glued the whole time to this one. And like she said this like perfectly at the like after it was over, it was like when you thought it was gonna end, it kept going and just got
Yeah.
crazier and then crazier and then crazier, and that she thought it was about to end like 20 times, she said, but no, they
Mhm.
just went further and further into more crazy town, you know. And
Yeah.
yeah, dude, that was a crazy movie, man. So I recommend it to anybody out there if you haven't seen The Substance. Check that out. It was on, where did we watch it from? HBO. Yeah, I think it was on HBO. I can't remember. But
Mhm.
yeah, we watched it on a free service. So one of, not free service, but not a subscription service. But it wasn't like we
Mhm.
didn't have to rent it or buy it or anything. So check out your sub services out there. The Substance, crazy good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you saying you liked that one too, right, Fuzz?
Yeah. I mean, it has some parts that like make you a little bit uneasy as far as like the arthritic knee. That definitely her trying to walk after I guess the split between the two.
Yeah.
But yeah, that those last 15 minutes, I was like, "Is this it?" And then it was like it went completely left field,
Yeah.
and it was in like a good way because I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"There's no way they're just like letting her in and whatnot." And
Yeah. I just the way it was
yeah,
shot too. I could tell it was gonna be good early on, just like with the way it was shot. It was like definitely like, and everything was like exaggerated, you know. And it was like the camera
yeah,
styles, like every single thing we're gonna do is gonna be like an exaggeration. And they had this weird like timeline of technologies that was like a mixture, so it was like an alternate reality. You know, it
mhm,
wasn't like because like early on, like you see like a Hollywood star, right? Like for the Walk of
yeah,
Fame, but it's not what they actually look like, you know, because there's no prints, right? So it's like an alternate
yeah,
reality. Like they have like landlines they're using, beepers, but then it's like new technology too and stuff. So yeah, it was pretty interesting, just completely original. Um,
yeah.
the
And it
finger,
had kind of
the
like
dead
the 60s
finger
and
was.
70s look to it. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was saying the dead finger was like grossing me out for a while. Like it's like, oh my god, I couldn't imagine just like being pretty normal, just having a finger like that. You know.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Fuzz?
No, I was gonna say, like, the overall aesthetic was kind of like a 60s and 70s look for some of it, and then,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, some of it was, like, ultra modern, like, as far as, like, the house on the hills and things like that, and
Mm-hmm.
some of the TV studios and everything, but, yeah, it definitely worth checking it out, even if you're not normally into body horror, or I guess that's what they refer to it as. Eh, Checking it out for Demi Moore's acting career or something that she's been in
Oh,
was
she was
pretty cool,
amazing
and
in this.
yeah,
Like when she
but
starts going like in the kitchen when she's like starts like cooking and stuff, you know, all that random stuff that she like, and she's like all acting like mocking the other girl, you know, the other version or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, it just starts becoming funny, you know. And like she plays like so many different like versions, you know, of herself as things keep happening. It's like yeah. Um Dennis Quaid was good in it too, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
It
gross.
definitely had like a weird food kind of
Yeah.
overtone, like, everything was gristly and made a lot of noise when people ate, so, yeah,
Hmm.
it definitely an interesting movie.
Yeah, it was like a mixture of like grotesque sleazeballness, you know, mixed with like uh just bunch of there's so many different themes in it, man. It was pretty crazy, bro. But yeah,
Yeah,
the coolest thing is just so original, man. So,
yeah.
yeah, check it out, the substance. But yeah, there's been a lot of other stuff going on, Fuzz. But before we
Mhm.
get into all that, hey, shout out to all the people here watching. Appreciate you being here. I see some awesome names. Game Shark, what's up? Sinceres, what's up? Shizno, how's it going? Shizno, Poison Maniac here as always. Appreciate you. BT Maverick, what's going on? PTK Blam is in the house. How's it going, PTK? Let's see. We got Ray Oid is here hanging out. Moggs, what's up? Be nice. JMO Money back from the dead. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. It's kind of like a weekend day for us because my daughter has tomorrow off of school and Monday, so it's kind of like a 4 day weekend, which is awesome. I hope y'all have a good holiday weekend too if you celebrate. And yeah, but it's been pretty crazy going on, Fuzz. A lot of positive energy regarding Xbox right now. Yeah, a lot of people crediting Asha Sharma, right, with bringing some of that energy, announcing that FanFest is coming back is number one with that. And she had made a post saying, you know, one of the things that learned that people really liked was the FanFest, so we're bringing that back. And then today, they're not only just bringing it back, but they're bringing it to eight different places around the world. So they're going to I think Tokyo. Um, I think they're going to Germany as well. I think I saw on there.
Yeah,
I can't
like
remember.
Germany, UK, and France. Wait, I know I had
Yeah, I think there was
the list
this
up here.
8 different locations. showing up there. So I immediately looked to see if Dallas was on there, but no, no Dallas, no New York, as I saw people asking for a New York as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one of those questions that we had. Fuzz is like, especially with the 25th anniversary this year, um, is FanFest going to come back? And I remember seeing a lot of people thinking, no, it's not. You know that they're done with that. They're done spending the money on it and stuff. I kind of had a feeling they would anyway, like because of the 25th anniversary. I can't remember for sure if this was a quote or not, but I remember somebody from Xbox, maybe it was Phil or something, saying like we have a lot of fun things planned for next year, you know. But when they announced that there wasn't gonna be a fan fest last year, but you know it was still up in the air. I don't think anybody really knew, but you know I think bringing it back and putting that energy out there, like, hey, this is the fans are important. Again, we hear you. You know, this is another sign. You know, so they're kind of on this like trail of like, hey, uh, we're putting new features on console. You know, we're um, fixing some things that people have been asking for. We're, you know, bringing FanFest back. You know, do you sense this kind of energy shift going on within the Xbox community to where what was a fractured community, where is it still divisive in some ways, and one particular way we'll talk about in a little while, is
Yeah.
kind of growing stronger again, rallying behind the vision that Asha Sharm is projecting early.
Yeah, I think ever since she's kind of taken the keys to the Xbox, it's been more of a buildup of like each week something positive is coming from either her or some of her team members and things along those lines as far as for the future of Xbox, whether it's like you said, new features, UI updates, reinvigorating the backwards compatibility team. Just recently with the fan fest, she's also responded on the exclusivity. We'll see if anything comes of that, because I know there's some debate about Gears E Day and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
I think the big thing is it just feels like there's more energy ever since, like, all right, she went and killed the this is an Xbox ad advertisements and things along those lines. And there were a lot that didn't really care for that. I mean, for me, I always thought it was more so that they could have delivered it better in a different type of visual advertisement, like
I thought it was
everything being an
too
Xbox.
early.
Yeah, like show it starting from the console, and then all right, the kids want to use the TV. You start playing on the handheld, or you go over to your PC or something like that. I think would have driven the message home a little bit better. But since Asha has come in, I that ad campaign has been pushed aside. Play Anywhere is still a thing, and that's still gonna be part of the foundation, but there's more of a focus on the consoles, like, even bringing up the next one as far as the Helix and stuff. We're getting a little bit more, insight or input, well, not input, but info on it, leading up to, I guess, the June showcase. Maybe we see an unveiling of it or whatnot, but, yeah, there's definitely some more energy, and I guess with each bad news from Sony, normally it would have been like, all right, when's the break step going to come? Is it going to be this Friday where they go ahead and raise the price on
Yeah.
consoles or services again? Oh no, they actually lowered the price on consoles for people still on Xbox One, and I guess they worked out something with GameStop where they're reducing the price or the difference between a trade in and things along those lines. And it looks like, there might be more Game Pass tiers coming at lower or more reasonable prices and stuff. So that way, people can, either re-up or not have to downgrade like they did when they went to 30 for some. But yeah, there's a lot more energy, a lot more positivity. About the only, I guess, negativity is that there's still people that are like, oh, console sales, you're not going to sell more consoles. But like,
Yeah.
give it time. I think they're working on their strategy to, do just that and bring more people into the fold. So we'll see what winds up happening. But yeah. It's good to see on social media, especially on X at least. Like normally that's where it's like, "Hey, I like this game. That game sucks because it's on Xbox." It's like,
Yeah.
no, at least people are like, "Oh, I didn't even know that game was around, offered on Xbox," or, "Hey, oh, it's in Game Pass day and date. I gotta check it out." Like there's more of those conversations now than, "Oh, well, when is Gears and Halo coming over? Oh, we got your games." It's like, great. It's about time you recognize that they were good games all along, as opposed to saying they were just Game Pass fodder. Because now they're
Hmm.
number one on your sales charts. Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot more positivity, definitely.
Yeah, I think part of the interesting thing too is like I think the reality is like even with the focus on console still is like no matter what either Xbox or PlayStation does at this point because of just cost wise and how expensive things are, I I don't know like how well either of them are really going to sell out the gates if they're like around $1,000. You know what I mean? Like I don't think it'll be like a traditional console launch where it's like everybody's just there right away from the diehards ready to just dive in because a lot of people are just going to be priced out. um if it's, and this isn't just Xbox, this is PlayStation as well. I mean I think that overall next gen is going to be real interesting, whereas it's going to be the most expensive generation for gamers to ever have to have jumped into. I know that PS3 when they originally tried to dive in was like, what was it, 599 or 699? I can't
It was, well, there was a 5.99 and a 6.99 one, I think.
I
Like I
can't remember for
remember
sure, but I remember for that time
the
it
the
was just
100 and some odd
ridiculous.
gig
Yeah.
one or the 60 gig one was the more expensive, but
Hmm.
they were definitely a bit pricier. Like it
Yeah.
was like, oh, get a second job to get this thing. It's like, excuse
and
me.
and people balked at that. Now they had I think a rough first couple years, and they ended up really picking up the pace in the second half of that gen as they got the
Yeah.
cost down on the console also. But this is the first generation where the prices have continuously gone up as the generation has gone on. And therefore I also think this generation is going to be supported long term into next gen, you know?
Yeah.
So I think people, one, will feel just in general less necessary to have to get a Helix or a PS6 if you're looking for new games, because I think a lot of them are going to be coming out, for years and years still on current gen. And they will be kind of like the cheaper options to get into the ecosystems, whereas the new systems that are going to be coming out are going to be, I think, more high end and expensive. So I think just in general, like it's going to be hard for any company to like get as many gamers to migrate as they usually do, over to that new tech. So, and you can have all the exclusives you want and stuff,
Mhm.
but unless it's like GTA 6 is actually exclusive on this one machine, then it's going to be hard to get people to like say, "Oh shit, I have to go do this right now." I think a lot of the next gen games are going to be cross gen, you know. Um
Yeah, they're probably gonna be cross-gen until like 2030. Like I honestly don't know if like normally at the beginning of a gen, it's like whoever gets the 10 million units sold first wins kind of thing, or usually winds up, staying ahead and doing rather well. But I don't know if either one of them sell 10 million units in that first year if they're nearing
yeah.
$1,000 a piece. Like us diehards will more likely have them,
Yeah.
but the average person, they're trading in maybe their series console or their, PS5, and then they still got like another 400 or 500 bucks to cough up. It's like, hey, I get rid of my old console and I'm buying a whole new console, or paying like I'm buying a whole new console just to get this one. I got, you know, I, I think it's going to be a tough go for that first year. And I don't want to say the C word as far as, oh, a video game crash. No, I don't think it's going to be quite like that, but I do think there could be some studio closures or layoffs or
Hmm.
things along those lines, like what we've been seeing for these past couple of years, just because it's going to be tough. Now,
Yeah.
there's I mean, some platforms can probably withstand, a year or two of loss, a little bit better than others. But like even like Nintendo's cutting back production to some extent, and they usually have the easy road as far as selling hardware and games, which they're doing rather well for themselves. PlayStation's already done well with the hardware, but now they're pricing it to the point where we'll see how well they continue to sell hardware. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's not looking forward to it.
Yeah, like with the Switch, like even if they're doing really well and selling more than they have before, whatever, if you're not meeting expectations, and you're cutting back, I think they like cut back like 30% or some shit like that is what it was. Like
Yeah.
if you're having to cut back, then you have to answer to the people that you made the projections to, right? The investors and all the money people and all that kind of stuff. Like, hey, this is what we're expecting to do. We're gonna do this, and everything is great. And they're like, oh, this is gonna be amazing. We're gonna have this much coming in. We're gonna, but nope. Um, we're having to cut back. Actually, we're having to adjust that forecast. That's never something like a company wants to do. Even if they are doing really well. And I think with Nintendo, it might actually be more so because of the games. They haven't really had like the Breath of the Wild moment here yet. Like Mario Kart World came out and it's fun, it's good, but it still isn't like going to make people feel like, oh, I have to give up my Switch, which they're happy with for a Switch 2 right now. So yeah, it's interesting what's going on with hardware. I think hardware like is here to stay, but I think it's going to be more interesting that the amount of devices people are playing on is going to over time decrease just because the hardware becomes more expensive. But for the time
Mhm.
being, right now, I think this generation at least, there is room to get some people that haven't migrated still yet. And but I think like it's hard to do that when you're raising the prices. So I was thinking about this, Fuzzy, on the heels of the PS6 price increase or the PS5
Mhm.
price increase, because it was a drastic increase, right? And for anybody that hasn't migrated yet, that's like, okay, well, now, it's like pretty damn pricey to jump into to PlayStation. Xbox does have the Series S still, um, and I was trying to think about it. Okay, if you're trying to be ultra aggressive and make like a super move, right? Um, if you are serious about hardware and you are willing to take a hit to do so, strike while the iron's hot. With this slate of games that Xbox has coming this year, with being able to market Game Pass around it as well, tie it to the console. Like I think you could, if you're Xbox, you could come out with a Series S price drop, a Series X price drop, bundle in like 3 months of Game Pass, like this holiday season or something like that, or maybe even announce it at Summer Showcase or something like that, and try and get as many holdovers, people that have not bought something this generation yet, which there's still quite a few, um, to jump in now as opposed to waiting. You know, I don't know what the likelihood of that, but would you think that would be like a strong move if they did that?
Yeah, definitely. Like I think the big thing that if I were involved in any of the numbers stuff as far as Xbox is concerned, just getting the Series S back down to 300 if possible,
Yeah,
and just bite your teeth kind of deal and grin and bear it. Deal with whatever loss you're giving up to at least get people in the door, and hope with next generation possibly coming out that you may consider or they may consider being locked in as they build up this library buying that Series S. Like, I think that would be probably the best way to go. Definitely make sure the price is lowered in time for GTA 6 or any of your big specials, or bundle it in with one of those upcoming games, whether it's Gears E Day, or if it's Clockwork Revolution or something along those lines. It might be a little late for them to move fast enough to do it for
Mm-hmm.
Forza Horizon 6. Although with that, you're definitely going to want to have some sort of like 90-day online or whatever Game Pass basic, so at least they have the online play and stuff like that. But definitely want to get that entry point so that way when it comes up for those bigger games like GTA, do you want to spend, I think the PS5, like the digital one, I think is what, 599 now versus like let's say 299 for a Series S. Yes, there's going to be some disparity on the visuals, but I think the visuals will be good enough and the gameplay will be good enough at that $300 price point that people will be like, you know what? I can't play it on my PS4 or I can't play it on my Xbox One, but I can play it on this. Oh, and I can also play college football on this thing. They may have skipped out because of that before. And all the new CODs, I'm assuming, and all the new Maddens and everything will be, this generation and newer. So this will be the best time to kind of, lure those people in. But yeah, just I guess have that meeting with Amy Hood. It's like, hey, we could either let these things sit on a shelf collecting dust, or we could, flash sale, get people in, and then just hit them up for games, get them to buy games, or get them to buy services that way. Because
Yeah.
what we're doing now isn't selling these entryways or gateways into our ecosystem. So we got to do something.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's about aggressiveness and how much you're willing to spend. I mean, they're being aggressive with spending up for consumer sentiment right now with the FanFest thing going to 8 different places. Willing to put more of the team on the console features and all that kind of stuff that we've been asking for. So I think all those things are winning over fans again. That have been kind of like put off a little bit. I've even seen some posts from people. I mean, like, okay, no lie, this has my attention now. Or like, yeah, they're getting me back. That kind of stuff from people that I've been seeing mostly negative. For the last couple years. So, um, it's messaging and marketing are important, bro. You know, and that's what like when we talked about the changes and stuff that we felt like you know was important. That was like my number one is you got to stop leaks because you have to be able to even have an opportunity to control your messaging first off, right? And then you got to get your messaging and marketing right. And part of that is by doing things, that are for your fans that maybe it's like, how important is this? Is this really something that makes or break anything? No, but all those little things add up for that consumer sentiment to keep driving excitement and engagement with the community and stuff. So she's been doing great at that so far. You know, um, there was like you mentioned, getting rid of the whole "this is an Xbox" campaign that the community hated. Um, it kind of that kind of coincides with my views on exclusivity. I don't really care either way. I didn't really care either way about that ad because that ad wasn't affecting my experience whatsoever, and it was actually a lot of things I'm taking advantage of, playing on the cloud or playing on my PC or playing on the console, playing on my phone. Or I'm like, okay, like they're just showing all the different places you can access the ecosystem. But the consumers, a lot of the Xbox diehards took it as like, you don't need an Xbox, and they're just telling everybody they don't need an Xbox. So like, why do I have an Xbox if you're telling people you don't need one? Is like the energy that they felt like they were putting out. I didn't really ever take that from it. However, it didn't do the brand any favors. I think it was way too early because they didn't have a lot of the stuff in place yet. That would have been something like I think for the future that would have been better placed. But just getting rid of that, doing the other things, Now PlayStation raises their prices. And I'm just saying, like, you got FanFest coming up, you got the Xbox Showcase coming up, you got Fable, Halo, Gears, Forza Horizons right around the corner. like, hey, if you want to continue momentum, you know, some kind of sale, special edition bundles, even, Forza with how big it is too. And there's a lot of people that played Forza Horizon 5 on Xbox One.
Yeah.
So you can maybe, hey, this is an opportunity for you to get Forza Horizon, with the special bundle on Series X or Series S or whatever, and maybe have a custom Forza console out there that looks badass. And that would have been a smart move. I think it may be too late to get that done now, but you could have that same energy with Gears and Halo and Fable, and who knows what else they could have this year, right? Um, Mike Sperling, shout out to you, Mike, says IGN is wanting Fable to be delayed until 2027 because Xbox has too much for 2026. Now, fuck IGN, bro. Like, man, of course they do. We've been waiting for Fable. Like, they announced that, what is it, shit in like 2019 or 2020?
Something like that, yeah.
And it had been rumored for a couple years before that they were rebooting Fable. I'm ready for Fable, man. Don't take away my Fable, like, just because they think there's too much. You get fucking Game Pass. Get Game Pass. You don't have to buy all of them. You know what? You know why the IGN says that? Because those fuckers all play on PlayStation. And they're like, oh, I'm going to have to spend $70 on Fable. I'm going to have to spend $70 on Gears. Probably going to have to spend $50 or $60 on Halo, however much it is. And Forza Horizon, hey, I got to spend $70 on that too. They're like, oh, shit. Well, and that's, hey, you get Game Pass. You don't got to worry about it, bro. You get to play all those games whenever you want. You ain't got to worry about a damn thing. It's just they coming to you when they release. You get surprises dropping left and right all the time. People say that Game Pass is like, hey, just Xbox. I've seen some comments from some Xbox fans like, some Xbox gamers just want Game Pass. They don't care about the actual platform and ecosystem. That's one of the fucking best things about the platform and the ecosystem is Game Pass. Yeah. Like, you take that away, that would suck for all of us. I mean, like, options are great, man. Options are awesome. Having those ability to know that you have stuff coming out all the time and it's not costing you an arm and a leg, to have to dive into it, So, I think overall, like, this is going to be like a fun summer, unless they step on a rake. Fuzz. I mean, they always come out of the left field. They come out of the blue. I don't foresee it happen. And this is another thing that's important. Like, will there be those rakes in Asha Sharma's tenure? Because that was something synonymous with the Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond era, was like positive momentum. Everything's awesome. Donk. Oh, here we go. Let's reset everybody. Let's reset the energy here. And there was like always those rakes, or like PlayStation has some bad news, and then Xbox has something that's like 10 times worse news like 2 days later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
my beer.
This is the like the messaging part I'm talking about. Like, she strikes me as I don't know why, and I don't know how much control she has. Maybe she has a lot of control over these kind of things, right? But like, I don't know why, but I get the sense that she's really savvy with that kind of stuff, just from the way she conducts herself in like her post and the things I've seen from her past interviews. Do you get that same vibe?
Yeah, like I think the big thing is, without having to micromanage, I think she does get the team energized and headed in the right direction, or in a direction that she wants them to go. So I don't think we'll see as many leaks. And when it comes to the rake stepping, I think there's like a twofold thing to it. One, I think she's forward thinking enough to make sure that those types of things are already, thought of and avoided. And then I think upper management, Satya and Amy, I think they've realized that maybe some of the restrictions or requirements that they've put on the brand have damaged the brand. So I think they're willing to take more of a step back, maybe for like a 2-year period to kind of see if what she does reinvigorates the sales numbers on hardware or gets the brand back in a better light overall compared to what it was like 2 or 3 months ago kind of thing. So I think as far as what I could potentially see as a rake step, although I don't really consider them a rake step, but there will be some in the community that possibly will, is the whole, logos on, certain games at showcases. Now, third party ones, I don't particularly care. I do agree on ones that are specific for Xbox, maybe not to show them, or at least don't show it during the showcase. Have that where it's like an after type of thing where, or maybe it's in real small print, will be available on other platforms after the first of next year or something along those lines. But I know that there is going to be a vocal uh, portion of the community that's going to be considered a rake step form. There's another one that I'm the only goofball that's thinking along these lines. Remember that leak about Triton, I think it was, for that new Game Pass tier? I still
Yes, yeah.
think since that's first party only, and we've probably had these conversations 5 or 6 years ago now, back when Phil said things like, these games will be exclusive wherever Game Pass exists, kind of thing. Um, I think that tier, I mean, it will definitely be another option or alternative for those on the Xbox platform. But I think that might be the, you know, the compromise to get Game Pass on other tiers. Because I remember when they had talked to Nintendo or were trying to negotiate that, that was the key thing. Game Pass as it existed then couldn't exist on something like Nintendo because some of the games that were in the service are the same ones that they're trying to sell. But if it's only an Xbox game in that service, it wouldn't be any different than their Sega channel that they have on their online, although their online is way cheaper than any other online subscription thing. But some people might see, Game Pass being on those other platforms, if that's even a thing, as a rake step. I don't, but I see that as more of a Trojan horse, part three kind of thing. But yeah, I don't foresee them really making any rake steps. In fact, considering how Asha and even Stein now kind of clap back on nonsense on the internet, where it's like, oh, this news outlet posts something negative or something half true or not completely true kind of thing, and they're quickly there to correct them.
Yeah.
I think there is a little bit more attitude to prevent those rake steps or messaging from going astray as far as what they want as the narrative versus the narrative that some of these news outlets might try and portray. So I think they got that, or Asha's got it covered. But there might be some things that people nitpick at, and like I said, that the logo thing, I could see some people nitpicking at that. I mean, I agree it shouldn't be on the Xbox showcase. Third party, I'm not as concerned, but
Yeah.
we'll see if they hear us or take note in those regards.
Yeah, I don't ever really understand why they put the it doesn't like bother me. I don't really care, but like it doesn't do anything for them to put the logos for the other companies on the games at their shows. Like if it's their own show, even if the game's releasing day and date other places, even on third party stuff, I'm just like what like why? Unless it's okay, you're at a Keeley show or
Mhm.
something like that because that audience is not put on that show's not being put on by Xbox, right? But even then I would say it would be better to not than to. Like a lot of times what happens like if you have other platform holders that release a game and then later it goes somewhere else, um, to like a competitor or something like that. It's just kind of like a post, with a Twitter thing, and let the fans of that platform talk about it and celebrate, as opposed to like, hey, this is going to this place. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
just like that's another messaging thing, right? That's you don't want to, even though they're a partner, they're also competition. You don't want to promote your competition at your own show. One that
Yeah.
you're funding and putting on. Like it just never made sense to me why they did that. And I think that was kind of like that whole the last couple of years thing. They just little went a little bit too far with the hey, we're going all in on this aspect of it, to where the messaging was even kind of like flying in the face of their own customers. And messaging is key, man. Despite what you do, like PlayStation last generation said a million things and they completely did a different million different things, you know? And because they said what people wanted to hear and then they ended up doing stuff anyway. Like Insomniac, oh, this will never come out on PC. Oh, hey, guess what? It came out on PC, you know? Like
Mhm.
we believe in generations. Oh, guess what? I guess they don't, because all the games are cross generational for the first few years, just like Xbox was doing. And remember, they came out with that announcement right after Xbox was getting flack that they were going to be supporting next current gen for a few years, right?
Mhm.
So they were always throwing out stuff to like kind of fuel the console fanboy wars that, like, in their favor based on sentiment, but then they were just still doing whatever the fuck they thought was best for their business, you know. Um, and it's like, I'm not saying like go out and just straight up lie to people, but you don't need to go be proactively um, pushing that sentiment, because like messaging wise, I don't think players and gamers get excited for the warm and fuzzy of like sentiment of hey, if everybody plays we win, like this, that kind of messaging. Yeah, it's a good kumbaya thing, you everybody wants to be happy and included and stuff, but that doesn't, that's not really putting the focus where gamers actually care, and that's about this game is badass and it's best played here and here's why. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
like that energy is gonna, it resonates more with gamers, despite even if you do put a game somewhere else. It's like, yeah, they get it too. That should be the energy. Don't worry about it. They get it too. It is what it is. But Xbox is fucking awesome. We have the most powerful console for the price, or if you want to go spend $900 and get a slight enhancement, you can do that too. You'll get a little bit of an enhancement, but if you really want the best experience, guess what? Hey, it's not going to do anything like the way our games perform on PC, which you get on Xbox Play Anywhere day and date, in Game
Mhm.
Pass. Like you can, there's like certain messaging you can have, and it's like to downplay your competition. Yeah, you're maybe getting sales over there, but like you're not focusing on, hey, let's all celebrate this. Everybody, guess what? Uh, they're going to get the game and it's going to come with PS5 Pro enhancements, and yay, it's going to be awesome. We can't wait, you know, in on an Xbox show, you know. Like that's
Mhm.
kind of the thing that just, I think, rubs a lot of people the wrong way. Um and messaging is key, man. So I think she'll get that shit fixed. And I think I've already seen a lot of that, you know. Um
Yeah.
the Ruham says it's more than a slight enhancement, but okay. Eh, eh. I mean, eh. I mean, eh. Eh. I guess. I mean, it's up to the, I guess, the eye of the beholder, right? Um, I know the best place to play any of these fucking games on PC. Like, if you want the best experience, you're gonna get a more expensive PC and play all those games that way, and you get like way better visuals and stuff. But like, yeah, $900, bro. Oh my god. I would have been flying in the face of that shit. I'd have been flying in the face of that shit. You know,
I think if they really pushed outside of what we saw for like GameStop with the trade-in thing, or the this just for you deals on Xbox store, they should have definitely pushed a price drop. We're going to do a price drop now through the release of GTA 6 or something along those lines. Um, Another thing I wish they would do is, and this is probably more so inspired by watching that Sega uh, like documentary. Wasn't really a documentary, but there's like a video on YouTube about Sega and its shortcomings or what they their rise and fall. I want to see some of that advertising, or basically that Sony like energy that they had early in the PS4. It's like, this is how you share a game. It's like, yeah, we're sharing games over there, but through Game Pass, you're getting our games, these third party games, day and date, and it's like you're getting a couple of releases this year. You're getting all these releases this year, or make it so it's like just basically put the pricing like, hey, your console is priced at XYZ, and that's probably about, a week and a half or like 3 days of work versus ours. You're probably able to pay this off in XYZ amount of time. Or you can do that whatever that program that they had before. It was like the monthly fee for the Game Pass as well as the console. Maybe, push that, especially with the prices going up on stuff. But yeah, they definitely got to get their marketing a bit more aggressive. Not saying they have to go full back to the Sega days of Sega does what
I mean, you
Nintendo
could
don't
be
kind of thing.
ruthless. You could be ruthless, man. You could have like we really loved having our exclusives over here on Xbox, but we saw that shitty output over there from PlayStation and how much their gamers were starving for first party quality titles, and because they only have a maybe one a year, so you know what? We had to give them some. Yeah, I mean, they like look, these guys are just chomping at the bit to buy fucking games. They're just like can't they want to buy games, but they're not giving them any. So we just said, hey, feed the children. Let's go. Let's give it to them. Let's give it to them. And you know what? We'll show up with our horse feed and throw it in their fucking troughs and let them go to fucking town on our games because we got them. I mean, yeah, you could twist it that way if you want to. You know. I don't think that would be I don't know how well that would go over, but it would be funny as
It'd
fuck.
go over well with the Xbox community. It probably wouldn't go over well with the gaming media because they're primarily PlayStation centric.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. 100%. Yeah, we'll see.
you're kicking us while we're down. That's so rude. You're being
Speaking
a bully.
speaking of Fuzz, before we get into the showcase, part of the whole debate going on right now, like which has been talked about for a while, is exclusivity, right? And like I don't know what his name is now, what version of Tim Dog we are at, or what phase he's at, or what era we're at. I remember it was Nin Tim Dog, I think, or like PS Tim Dog. I mean, for
Mhm.
longest time it was like Xbox. I think he was America Tim Dog. I don't
Yeah, I
know
think
what it
that's
is now. Is that what he's still doing now? Okay, whatever Tim Dog we're at now. With his multiple personality disorder, we have a version of him now that is. I think it was him that said, "I heard Gears is going to be exclusive, right? Gears E Day is going to
mhm.
be exclusive." So I see a lot of like Xbox fans being like, "Yeah, she's bringing exclusives back and stuff." um, and stuff like that. Um, and there's a lot of people like, hey, how important is it to you? Blah 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 blah. Blah. I don't personally don't care either way. Like, if PlayStation guys get to play Gears, cool. If they don't, cool. whatever. I bring it to Xbox and PC, cool. Um, I think there's plenty of access points. But it doesn't really. I don't celebrate it either way. It's fun and interesting if that is the case. But unlike Fable and Halo, like they have not. I don't think they've announced a PlayStation version yet for Gears.
No, I don't think they have.
So part of me is also wondering if that was like always the plan, because maybe they would have been planned to bring it out later on PlayStation, just because of development reasons or who knows what, right? But do you think Gears E Day is going to be at least a timed exclusive for Xbox? Um, and is that enough to bring the people that want exclusives, back to like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's go. Like, does that do anything for the fanboy mentality of all that stuff, or?
I mean, it probably will for the year or however many months that it would be exclusive. I do think it winds up being a timed exclusive because unlike Fable, if it was going to be a day and date on the other platform, they would have probably made mention of it already, like they did for Fable. Um, I honestly I don't care either way. I have all the platforms. I mean, it would be nice if other platforms are going to keep their games exclusive, then it'd be nice if they did the same. Um, except for like PC, I would still consider that being part of the ecosystem. But I think it would help. I think it would change the narrative. The only drawback is how they would deal with the pushback from the Ryan McCaffertys as far as, well, when is it coming?
Yeah,
Because we all know how he was when it came to Tomb Raider, which isn't even a first party. And he was real adamant about that not being, held up and not
which
going
is
over to
one of the
PlayStation. But yet,
stupidest fucking things in that, especially in that era where it's like everybody's paying for exclusivity, and especially with Xbox, who had only a few studios at the time, and they were having their own first party output like delays. Like third party exclusives was pretty much what everybody was doing, including
Mhm.
PlayStation, and which PlayStation has done this entire generation because they've been having to make up for their own output, right?
Yeah,
So like that take back then, when I remember like him saying that, being like, nobody wins here, blah 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 blah, or something, and then later like celebrate, like being, I think it was like when Final Fantasy was announced as exclusive, he's like, it's okay. People can't just be happy for games or something, like
yeah,
that kind of energy. Um, it's like either you're for that or you're not. I could care less, honestly, except for the fact that if it's like a new game now, I want it to be at least like multiple access points. Xbox is doing that with their titles, right? And multiple ways of accessing those games with day and date, usually on Game Pass, plus also Xbox Anywhere, with PC and console, on the deals that they're doing. Whereas PlayStation is like, only you have to buy this fucking box, and it's like I don't want to buy the box just for that game, so I'm not. Or for me, like I don't even want to buy them because they're not on PC also, but it's like that era was like, that's just what the business was, you know?
yeah,
So didn't make sense. Um, so
yeah.
Gears.
I really hope whatever Asha winds up doing that they already have ready response for the gaming media. Because
Mhm.
if they if let's say E-Day is exclusive, timed or otherwise, how fast do they respond to the gaming media and how do they go about it? Like, is it coming to PlayStation? Right now, we're just focused on it being on Xbox. And is it like, are they just going to
Yeah.
be like, just shut up and buy an Xbox at some point to, quiet the media? Or are they going to be like, hey, right now, as it stands, it's only playable on Xbox and PC, where you have dual entitlement, blah blah blah, play
Yeah.
anywhere, and then go with that, and then see how the media tries to spin it. They're they're being, they're being less community or consumer friendly and blah 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 and
Yeah.
anti-consumer.
It's like when the darlings are Nintendo and PlayStation, right, of the media. It just baffles me how they act that way when Xbox does anything like that. You know? So like it's if that's what everybody's doing, then it's fair game for Xbox to do the same. I would argue for none of them to be doing any of that, and they just game unless that's what it takes to get a game funded, right? Now a lot of times a game wouldn't exist unless hey, this publisher decided to back this game and they're making it, and let's say it is a platform holder, it's a smaller budget game or something like that also, so the developer's only going to end up developing it for one platform anyway, right? And that happens
Mhm.
across the industry as well, and I think that's completely fine, like for companies to completely fund projects from third party companies, and their sole focus should be probably on those platforms. You know what I mean? Especially with the budgets of how expensive games are to make these days and stuff. But that's just one aspect of the whole thing. Like you're talking about um, multiple, like some games are like these huge AAA fucking games, and they get exclusivity deals at the last minute and stuff because they signed some kind of backhanded like promotional marketing deal. That's the fucked up stuff. But you're doing a Game Pass deal to fund it early, or like even a PlayStation, they're getting like a indie dev or something, and they're like, hey, we're gonna fund this game. Hey, yeah, it's fine. But you're doing that to support your platform, but also you're getting a game out there that would never existed anyway. You know, which is fine to me.
Would you be for Xbox bringing back exclusive content or things like COD or other games?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think I think a lot of people misunderstand my take on exclusivity because like I think that there's merits to like having the best experience be on the company's platform that's releasing the game, right? However, I don't want to live in an era where we're end up having to have three $1,000 devices hooked up to a TV to access the games we want to play, right? And I think eventually that's where we're gonna be at. So access is key for me. Now, if like I said, Xbox has multiple access points anyway. If they take games off of PlayStation, I could fucking care less. Like fuck them, like if they put the games on PlayStation, I could care less too. Hey, and I can make an argument for both, Fuzzy. Like, and
Yeah.
I think that's one of the interesting things is Xbox is in a kind of a tough place with this because it's like there's two avenues. Okay, you go, hey, make all these games exclusive again, right? And yeah, it's gonna help the hardware probably sell better, right? And so that's the argument. The hardware sells better. You have more gamers in the ecosystem. You sell more games. That's the old like system everybody's used to. Um, but with that comes the question of how much better, right? How much more share are you going to get of that console market? How many more gamers are you going to get to buy into the system? Um, so that's the catch there because you have to have enough to justify the cost of manufacturing or producing these games, which we know is astronomical, right? So if you decide that, then what's at detriment is probably the health of the studios, because the way that the studios are looked at is like return on investment for like, hey, we're putting this much into a game and we expect this much return out of it, to be able to keep funding your projects, right? Now, if they're limited in the amount of people that they can sell their game to, then it's harder to reach those numbers, right? So I would say exclusivity is better for the hardware, but could be at a detriment to the studios, right? Whereas on the other hand, you have the multi-platform strategy, which is the opposite. It's probably better for the developers and getting more return on the games that they're creating, but it's at a detriment to the value of the hardware, right?
Yeah.
And that's because of gamers' mentality mainly, more than anything else. But like in between there, somewhere, you're weighing those two things. You know, it's like, okay, go exclusivity, maybe sell less games, right? Uh, how will that affect the studios long term? How will it affect the health of the ecosystem? We don't know. Go multi-plat long term, sell more games, right? But less consoles probably. Like how do we weigh that out? My thing is like we're already going to be selling less consoles anyway going into these next generations because of the price. And for me, access is king. So for me, I care more about the games and making sure that we get games than actually like, well, I need to feel justified for buying a box, right? Like, because I'm going to buy it based on its own merits, not what's exclusive to it. So, and I speak from now, if the experience is better on Xbox, that could be one of the avenues that they have to offset the fact that they're going multi-plat, you know? So let's say Gears E Day releases everywhere, but it has like exclusive skins on Xbox, or it has, or like the FTC, what was it, the FTC or something was like, what if they give like Master Chief like a Santa suit or something at there at Christmas? I forget what bullshit that they were coming up with.
Mhm.
Fine. Like they do that shit all the time in fucking video games. Who fucking cares? You know, I like, and
Mhm.
PlayStation pays for this shit on third party games. Hogwarts Legacy, fucking exclusive missions and stuff like that. You get. So yeah, it's fair game to do that completely. If companies are doing it on third party games, I remember like fucking Spider Man was only available on um, Avengers on PlayStation. Remember that
Yeah.
for a while? Yeah, like it's fucking fair game. But like if you can sell the game over there and you think that's the best way to support the studio, I'm fine with that too. Could care less. All I care about is my experience. If I can access the game on the systems that I have, I am better for it because I'm not having to go buy something that I don't really want just to play the game that I want, you know? So it's interesting, man. It's like, I wouldn't want to be in their shoes. Like, I mean, really, yeah, I would, but with taking over at the point that they did with the consumer sentiment the way it was, and having this shift that you did, but now stating you're returning to Xbox, putting that energy out there, and then what's the number one thing you see people still talking about, Fuzz, is exclusivity.
Yeah.
And it's like, can they make that shift? Like, what's the cost? What's the cost? Like, do you think what do you think about the studios? Right? If they have, okay, so Gears E Day, let's say it does release on PlayStation. How many copies do you think it sells on PlayStation?
Well, what was it? The other one that they just the remaster that they did,
Yeah,
I think it like less than 500,000
yeah.
on PlayStation.
I don't
So
think
it's
that sold
like,
well anywhere. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like that's one that they could have probably avoided. Same thing with
Mm-hmm.
Pentiment. Amazingly enough, Hi-Fi Rush, they probably should have kept for themselves. I mean, maybe save it for the Switch 2 at this point. Um, but yeah, that's I think if if I was given the keys and exclusivity is something to be on the table, I would just look at Xbox first party studios. People won't hate me for this. I would not include Bethesda in that because a lot of Bethesda stuff was,
Yeah.
multi-plat to begin with. they can continue to be multi-plat. Now, that's not to say any collaborations from Bethesda and other Xbox first party studios, those are exclusive. Um, like if there was ever a Doom guy versus Master Chief kind of thing, that stays exclusive. But Doom, that's multi-plat. I would start doing collaboration exclusive content for all of the Microsoft owned properties. So all of Activision, all of Blizzard, all of Bethesda. COD is going to have weapons from Fallout that you can only get on Xbox. They're going to get armor that you see only on Xbox from, Gears or um, from Halo or something along those lines. So have those types of things stay only on your box. Make certain missions or certain modes, like test out a extraction shooter mode on the next Halo multiplayer that's only on Xbox. And if there's enough demand, maybe it comes later in like 6 months to a year, but at least try or experiment with things like that. Like if you're going to make uh I don't know, like a crossover between, like, let's say Wolfenstein and Xbox or and Call of Duty, then that particular crossover would stay on Xbox, but the next Wolfenstein can go everywhere. Obviously, COD stays everywhere, but if there is a specific Wolfenstein mode, that's available on Xbox first for the first month to 3 months exclusively on Xbox, and then it can filter everywhere, kind of thing. I think they should play around with things along those lines. And every now and then, Money Hat something that if you feel the buzz from the community, like even though from a smoothness or optimization standpoint, Black Myth Wukong was probably not the best optimized in general, but make sure you outbid Sony on that. Make sure you outbid Sony on something like the next Stellar Blade. Like, hopefully, there
Yes.
isn't as much
Yeah.
fear on some of those unique looking games. As far as yeah, I know some of them are like gooner games. As far as oh, look at her yams or whatever type of thing for Stellar yams, or whatever. But don't be afraid to money hat those away from Sony. Every now and then, outbid them on something. Now, will that, sour the relationship with those devs if you don't move enough of them? I think you make it so the deal is sweet enough for them either being in Game Pass or that you temper their expectations for 1 or 2 million sales because it was only doing 1 or 2 million sales on, PlayStation. So make it so if it doesn't reach, the 1 million or 2 million goal, we start doing the pack-ins and we pay that difference for you. That way you
Hmm.
still keep a good relationship with them, at least for that contract that you outbid Sony. And if you outbid Sony enough, maybe they start to get the message this isn't the way to do it, or
Yeah.
this isn't an acceptable thing anymore because now somebody with deeper pockets is basically taking all of your lunch money kind of thing. So
Yeah. And that's part of that aggressiveness, right? Like,
yeah,
I agree. I agree with that completely. Like for those deals that they were doing, like that's part of it. Like, go and fucking outspend them on that shit to get those games. Like you can. Now it's up to them to do it. I think ultimately, like if I was one of those devs, if the deal was sweet enough, you go to PC and Xbox at the same time with Play Anywhere. They're allowing you to put it on Steam probably as well as you'll be in Game Pass. So you're going to have a lot more people playing your game as opposed to taking an exclusivity PlayStation deal for less money. Yeah, you're having a lot of consoles to sell to at that point, but like you're not having the same amount of um, gamers actually with eyeballs on it, as you would if it's on PC console. Because like some of those deals are no PC either, you know.
yeah,
So yeah, I it's interesting. There's like a plus and minus to everything that when you're doing these kind of things, and it's I think like Forza Horizon 6 is going to do gangbusters on PlayStation. You know, I don't. I think Fable will do somewhat pretty good. Who knows exact? I think Halo will probably do pretty good. But I think Gears E-Day will probably be like this is the Coalition's like next big game, and I think it'll if they release it on PlayStation, I think it'll do at least a few million. You know, like I think it like the Gears Reloaded thing, like it's interesting and it's like but it's like a remake of a really old game. You know, so
Yeah.
I think E-Day
Now,
being
was that
like
Unreal Engine 5 or no? For
I think
Reloaded.
you did, but it's like kind of more of like a reskin kind of situation where it's not like I mean you can play Hive Busters today and then play Gears
Mhm.
Reloaded and like Hive Busters is like fucking insane, you know,
Yeah.
comparatively to Reloaded and stuff. And like Gears E-Day will probably have a full multiplayer suite to it as well. Whereas Gears Reloaded had like a very like um, small multiplayer component to it. I just think that like they will probably sell a lot if they do it, but like okay, what's the trade off? You know, long term with those things, and they have to make those decisions, right? Is it better for Coalition and all of that if we release the game everywhere? Um, is it better for Xbox? Is it better for the like? It's not going to be better for the console, but how much damage will it do to sales on the console as well? Like how many more consoles would they sold if Gears is exclusive? You know, like all those things are going to play a factor. If I think they should have a special Gears console as well. They should have fucking for all these big games, man. They should have fucking special consoles, dude. Um, but for some reason they don't do
Or at
it.
least a console wrap or something.
Yeah,
Like Forza should definitely have a console wrap. Like
like the Starfield wrap.
I'm wondering if they do a controller as well, but console wrap is a must. Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. It's just hard to know what to do. You know, like it's um, exclusivity is a big thing with the gamers ask right now on the Xbox side. Like, hey, we want our games exclusive again. Asha Sharma's bringing back exclusivity. I would caution just everybody to like just wait and see. You don't get your hopes up too much on it, just because like we don't know what's happening whatsoever. Like I think more so than anything, it's about messaging and marketing. Ultimately, if you focus on your experience and what you're getting, you're gonna get those games in Game Pass, and you're gonna get to play them on your Xbox and your PC. So ultimately, that's gonna be a win for you either way, especially if you already have an Xbox or a PC. Like, I don't think like it's that big of a deal either way. I think it's gonna be the most interesting deal for next gen is actually just the quality of the devices. Like feature sets for the because you're spending more money,
Yeah.
you know? Like I don't know, does PlayStation have the exclusive games anymore to like make people feel the need to spend $900 to $1,000 after this generation?
I think it really comes down to how comfortable the devs are with programming. Like if Helix, the console ish version of the game app, I guess you could say, if that is so similar to PC builds, then it shouldn't be any problem for any developer that's been focusing on PC. So if they can convince 99% of those devs that are putting stuff on Steam that usually go to Steam first as opposed to console, that could definitely help matters. And I think that will be an appeal that Steam is trying to do with their Steam machine, and they've definitely done with their Steam Deck. That's made it so much easier for the people that may have been stuck on an old Dell from the early 2000s and couldn't play some of the current games that now they can buy the Steam Deck. Well, at least until they sold them out and stopped production on some of them, that they would be able to get access to all those games. So if the Helix build is like that, that will definitely help their sales numbers and hopefully draw people to it. That'll be like that added feature that really benefits them.
Yeah.
From a visual standpoint on console build stuff, I guess the PlayStation will have like Pisser 2.0 or 3.0 or whatever they
I'll be on
choose to call
Pisser
it.
5 at that point, Fuzz. I mean,
And the problem it seems that they have is that it's, and I don't mean to pick on AMD, but AMD themselves are a little bit slow when it comes to some of the um you know what do you call them, driver updates and things like that.
mm-hmm.
PlayStation is making something that's separate from that, so they're having to do it all themselves. So if AMD, the guys that made the hardware for you, are a little bit slow with some of their updates on some of this DLSS kind of tech, then you're way behind the eight ball. So
Yeah.
I think devs are going to still have issues with that tech. Some of them do great, and then it's like, oh, well, we found out where it's creating too many reflections or it's slowing the performance. So then they wind up patching it out like Capcom had to do. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't see that being as much of a selling point for PlayStation unless they can show what their first party pulls out as far as with that tech, what intergalactic might look
Just
like.
don't have Cerny do it with like a comparison, you know? Like, 'cause it's so fucking boring, and like he shows the worst examples. Remember he
Yeah.
showed like the stands and the fucking of Ratchet and Clank, like way off in the distance.
Mhm.
Look how much more detail there is here in the scene. What the fuck you talking about, Mark? I can't see it. You know, like yeah, I think ultimately, yeah, obviously if you have a pro, it's slightly better, so it's gonna play games slightly better, right? You know, just
Yeah.
like I think next gen, the consoles are gonna be better. We're going to be able to play the games better, right? It's gonna be interesting seeing them showcasing it off to a point to make us want to dive in for the price, you know, because it's got to be that much better. Because these games are going to be cross-gen, you know, I think for a long time. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see, man. Exclusivity or not, chat. You guys, my question is not do you want it, because I know like 75% of you do, at least. My question is, will Asha Sharma bring it back? And do you consider, okay? Let's say Gears E-Day is exclusive. Do you credit Asha Sharma with that, Fuzz, or do you think that was like a predetermined thing?
The let's say that again. With the
Let's say
FanFest.
Gears E-Day actually is
Okay.
exclusive, or at least a timed exclusive, right? Do you credit Asha for that, or do you think it was already that was just what was gonna be in the works anyway?
I think it may have already been in the works, but I think it would have probably been scheduled to be a timed type of deal under the previous management. New management, if she decides, you know what, we're not going to put the resources to porting that over, kind of thing,
Mm,
she'll definitely get the credit on that. But I think if it's timed, meaning that they were already working on a build after completion or after it goes gold, then I think that may have already been in the plans. Unlike what
yeah,
with Fable, that one I remember hearing a year ago when it got delayed. The reason for the delay was that it's going to be released on PlayStation
right.
at the same time, and it looks like that source that was in the building was accurate. So,
Yeah, that's interesting. It's gonna be a hell of a year, regardless.
oh yeah,
I think the answer, honestly, for me, regarding PlayStation, this isn't the same thing also as PlayStation taking away their games from PC, which I think is fucking stupid, right? Like, I think the answer for me regarding exclusivity in Xbox would be just timed. Just timed exclusivity, and then make it like substantial enough to like actually justify it. And then but not to the extent to where it's like 2 or 3 years, because then at that point you're like, the game's kind of like not going to probably sell that well anymore anyway. So if you do like 6 months to a year on those like bigger games, then I think you're probably going to still see some people wanting to play it. You can probably release it at a little bit cheaper price at that point too, to coincide with like a special edition with like it has updates on Xbox as well. Kind of like what they're doing with Starfield, except Starfield was like 2 years, 3 years, 3 years exclusive, almost. So yeah, I don't know, just like timed is fine with me. I don't care either way though, exclusive or not. But um, Luis Jose says, random question for you, Mav. Are you in TikTok? TikTok, perhaps? I can't remember. Yes, we have a TikTok channel, but I'd never post to it. I've made some post on it, but you can follow me there. My wife's on TikTok as well. Um, huh? Yeah, they do. She's TikTok famous. Everybody. No, she has way more followers on TikTok than I do. But yeah, you can check her out there too. Let's see. I think the link. I don't know if the TikTok link is in the description. I think yours is. I think Kate's is. I'm not 100%. But the links might be in the description below. And hey, shout out to the audio listeners as well. For anybody listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever audio platform you listen to, appreciate you all as well. Make sure you leave a comment, or if you have a feature on your podcasting platform, let me know also about the exclusivity question. Do you think Asha Sharma will bring exclusives back? Which is a separate question from if you want them or not. You know my stance, I could care less. But will she? That's what I want to know. I think either way has its merits and its detriments, you know. So be interesting to see what they figure out. Shout out to Web Dave. How you doing, bro? Well, Fuzz, are you gonna go to FanFest?
Yes, but I'm not flying. I'm driving, and I know that's a heck of a road trip. But
Yeah, you're going.
as scared as I am
Fuck, that
of
is far.
flying,
That's an
yeah,
entire.
it's
That's across the country, bro.
yeah. I rather do that, and I know that somebody will be like, "Well, the stats show that there are more vehicular incidents than there are plane incidents." That's fine. If you've been on a plane with me before, you would know every like previous time that there were close calls, I've been on one of those planes. I don't want to go through a time where that seems to be a more frequent occurrence. So I have very bad luck on planes. I've landed on a military chartered plane that almost had its wings taken off by two F-15s taken off at the same time. I've been on numerous Southwest Airlines and American Airlines planes that tried landing on other planes that were on the runway, only to almost stall when they have to, put everything full blast to get back up in the air. Um, I've almost fallen out of the sky due to storms and turbulence, where I was the only passenger with a pilot and co-pilot on an American airline plane going through a terrible storm between Virginia and Pennsylvania. Yeah, I don't want to get on a plane anymore. I think the funniest bad situation I had was from Colorado back to Pennsylvania. Took a trip out to Colorado. As I said, I don't like flying. I bought a bottle of Bailey's, put it in my coffee, but didn't use the whole bottle. This is after 9/11, so you're not supposed to have liquids, open liquids, or whatever. I tucked it in my coat, completely forgot about it. wore that same coat. Nobody noticed that there was, I guess, a little bottle of liquor in my inside pocket. So I got in the plane, and that was just as I was getting ready to order another bottle of Bailey's. I felt, oh, well, let me pour that in my coffee. And the stewardess came over and snatched it out of my hands. Well, luckily, I'd already poured it all out, and she snatched it out of my hands, yelling, "Where'd you get this?" I was like, I completely forgot about it. It was in my coat from the trip up. I figured instead of bothering you for another one, just finish that off since it's already on the plane. And she had a big, stink about it. And I was like, I'm going to drink it. You can have the bottle now. And we go through turbulence getting back to PA because it was real cloudy and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And there was so much turbulence that while they were moving the carts, literally went up in the air, hit her head on the top of the plane, came back down, and then the cart like smacked into her afterwards. I
Damn.
know it's not, nice to laugh at people's, injuries or whatever, but after her being, kind of a B for, the
Yeah.
way, I mean, there's ways like if she had been like, oh, you can't do that, I'd be like, all right, I
Yeah,
understand.
snatching it out
Totally
of your
forgot about
hand.
this,
Yeah,
whatever, but snatch it. Yeah, you get what you deserve at that point.
that's funny.
That was the best of my worst situations. But like I said, I've had it where three separate landings outside the two F-15s taken off where we've tried to land on a plane that's on the runway. And the funny thing is, me being a fan of Flight Simulator, I always look, well, I love having window seats, and I'm usually either
You drink
right
Bailey's
after
while
the
you're
wing or
playing
right
flight.
before the wing.
Well, you drink Bailey's while you're playing Flight Sim too.
No, no, no. I think it's more of a control thing of why
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
afraid to fly. Like if I was the
yeah, yeah,
pilot, I'd probably be fine. No Bailey's needed.
yeah, yeah,
But the fact that somebody else is flying, it's like I've been on too many planes where I can tell, oh, we're going to land on that runway, and I see a plane on there. Does anybody else see that plane that's on? Because like
yeah.
we're banking,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I can see the plane on the runway, and they're like, "What are you talking about?" There's a plane on the runway we're angling for. So they're like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." And then it's like I've got my head tucked between my knees, and it's like as soon as you would expect the tires to, that first touch where
Yeah,
you can
yeah,
feel the plane kind of shudder. Nope, never happens. And then you hear the thrusters, you know, and it's taken back off, and it's like I hate that. I hate that
yeah.
because it's like those are usually the most vulnerable times for planes. So
Mm-hmm. You're
it's
kind of
like,
like in a limbo spot, you know. I could imagine that time with the stewardess though, bro. Like, she flies up and hits her head on the ceiling, and then
mhm,
drops down and hits her head on the cart, or the cart smacks into
mhm,
her or whatever. I can imagine everybody
yeah.
being like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" And then Fuzzy's like, "Bitch."
I was just like, 'cause I didn't see any like blood spatter or whatever, so I knew she wouldn't too hurt. It should have knocked her
I just
unconscious, but
it's so funny if you busted
I'm
out
just
laughing
like,
when everybody's like,
I just remember the saying, like when you're a little kid, like
"Yeah,
all the elders in my family was like, I don't like ugly. And it's like,
yeah,
yeah, shouldn't have been such a mean person snatching stuff. Like
yeah."
who
Take my
raised you?
Baileys. Take my Baileys. Come on.
Yeah,
Um,
but yeah, I hate flying, but I'm going to Fans Fest. I'm getting there a day early. Got me and the wife got the hotel. I'm probably going to be tired. I'll be ready. I guess Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we're heading back Monday, starting Monday morning or Monday afternoon, and hit the road again.
yeah, right on, man.
Luckily, I got a car that's partial self drive, but you know,
Yeah, that should be a fun
I don't.
trip
I still
though.
don't trust
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
No, I mean, hey, dude, I hope you have fun though. I think it's gonna be a show to remember this year. You know, shout out to the poll also. 26 votes on it. I just went ahead and ended it. 62% of you say Asha Sharma is bringing back exclusivity. Um, Now also like it's interesting because like whether Gears, like Fable's already been announced, Halo's already been announced, you know, for PlayStation. So like I don't think she's gonna go retract those. You know, like that would be
No.
crazy. You know, but like if Gears, was it planned yet? later. We don't know yet, but she will probably get the credit for it. If that happens, and be like, "Fuck yeah, Asha Sharma's bringing back exclusivity to Xbox. Oh yeah, baby!" And everybody go out and get your Xbox now because it's the only place besides PC to play Gear Z Day. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see the energy, bro. But I think there's going to be a fun show. This is what I wanted to do, is kind of get into early speculation on the showcase because they announced it officially, right? So it's going to be the Xbox Summer Showcase, followed by a Gears E Day Direct. And I've been thinking about it. Like, I think for this is in a world where Forza already exists. It's already will have come out by this point, right? They will probably be celebrating 40 million plus players again on Fable, maybe more this time with the addition of PlayStation at launch as well. And I think it's going to be a massive game. So that will have already come out. So you have that momentum, right? Then you have this summer showcase. We all know we're seeing Gears Z Day after the last part of it. So I'm starting to think, okay, what is all included in a 25th year anniversary Xbox showcase? Now, also, I am expecting there to be a lot of positive sentiment around Xbox. The fact that they are deciding to have an 8-city tour of Xbox FanFest. Do we see Project Helix at this summer showcase, Fuzzy?
Think so. I don't think we'll get to use it. I think we'll get to see it in a glass box kind of thing. Or at least the dev. Well, I think we definitely get to see the dev kit. Maybe we get to see the finalized console look, which would be kind of cool. Um, but I'm curious to see if they unveil a new game go along with it. Like
Yeah.
my gut is they
Halo.
do. Yeah. I think we get to see, even though like I know we saw the Infinite like 2 years prior, I think, to it releasing.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one will just be like a year out, and it'll either start off the show or it'll end the show where it's like, oh, Helix is, the next generation console, and you'll be able to pre-order this holiday or something along those lines, or we'll have more info around the holidays for next holiday release or whatever. I still want it to be this holiday, but it is what it is. But I think they'll end it with showing what the next Halo will look like on that device, to kind of get everybody really, like a nice send off for the show leading into E Day. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the way they end it with Halo and the Helix console. So
So I'll tell you how they should do it and how it should go down, Fuzz. Okay. All right. So you have, for that segment, you have a Halo CE trailer, right? Halo CE. They talk about it. Everybody's expecting to see Halo CE there, right? It's coming out this holiday season, this fall or whatever. So you like, next up is Halo CE remake, and you have this trailer, and it's like, wow, hey, it looks great, blah blah blah, blah. And then Asha Sharma or whatever comes out and says, Halo's always been a core part of Xbox, and as our return to Xbox, you see we're putting investment into the franchises that the fans love the most, or whatever. And
mhm.
so this isn't just about the past of Halo, where we're with the remake, but it's also about the future. And then check this out, and then you have fucking a Halo trailer come out for Halo who knows what, you know. Some fucking eye melting, emotion inducing, just like insanely awesome fucking trailer with Master Chief and all this like awesome shit happening. You got Cortana, you have like, just the biggest Halo ever. It's just random bullshit stuff that they say on the screen. And like, look at the visor moments, like Pong screaming, like, oh my god, the fucking visor, look at that shit. Um, and then like a trailer ends and it says coming to Project Helix, or whatever. And then
Mhm.
rising out of the floor comes this fucking console, monolithic device or whatever it is, and the lights all shining on it, and blah 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 blah, and that this is the future of Xbox and the future of Halo, blah 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 blah, and then end it, boom, or like fall 2026 or 2027. I mean,
Yeah.
and end it, boom, lights go off, and then we hear Gears E-Day things start up. That's what I would do. That's how I'd end the show. But besides that,
I don't think I think you'd have to have somebody quiet the crowd just so they can start the E-Day
yeah.
aspect. Yeah.
Oh, could you imagine the room for like the community event that's going to be happening there? Can you imagine like King David like jumping up? I'm like, fuck yeah, hold the line. I told you, motherfucker. So no PS6. Fuck them all. Like there would just be chaos, mayhem in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think Mr. Boomstick would probably like have a seizure. Like he'd be sitting there just fucking going like this is fucking crazy. It would be insane. Like it would be nuts if they did that. And I would love to see it. Who knows? That's what I would do. Asha, if you're listening, make it happen. If you don't have a Halo next gen trailer yet, put one together. You got 2 months. You got 2 months. Make it happen. Okay. Besides that, though, Fuzz, we are expected probably to see another trailer for Fable, I would imagine, right? Now, there was rumors there was going to be another Direct this year. So if there is, do you hold Fable for that again? Because they had the Fable at this past one, right? Or
I think if I remember right, they showed something for Fable prior to the showcase.
Oh, you're
because
right.
it wasn't going to be released this year. It was like, this is an update from Playground Games.
What was at the Direct this year in January?
The Direct this year was Forza and oh my god,
Fable. Fable. Is it?
Yeah, Fable and the Beast game and something else.
So you had Fable there, like So I don't know if there is another Direct. I think it would. I mean, we got the Gears Direct, so it wouldn't be that.
If there's another Direct. Oh wait, they did Call of Duty at the end of one of the showcases. So do they go back to doing their own Call of Duty thing, or do they do a Direct that has Call of Duty in it?
Maybe do a Direct that has Call of Duty in it. It's like I don't know because there was strong rumors that later this year they were going to do another Direct. So like I would expect that because Fable already had a Direct, not to have another Fable at a Direct again, right? I think we're just more likely to see a Fable trailer at the summer showcase. Gears is getting their own Direct after the summer show. So, Halo, maybe for the CE remake, possibly. But that leaves me to think if the rumors are true that we're getting a fall or like a August Direct is kind of what the rumors were. There's got to be another big game this year.
State of Decay 3.
Yeah, State of Decay, Clockwork Revolution, maybe.
That's another one.
Yeah. I mean, both of those could be due for this year. I mean, State of Decay was like announced a long ass time ago. Also, it was announced back with like Fable and stuff back, So State of Decay 3 is due. So maybe it is State of Decay, or like because I think there's one more game, at least one more big game.
How many games did Obsidian release this year? They haven't released one this year, have they?
No, they had 2 last year with Avowed and Outer Worlds 2. No, they had Grounded 2 this year.
Yeah, they had 3 last year.
Or was it Grounded 2 last year? No, Grounded 2 was this year, right?
think it was last year.
Was it?
Because they had 3 last year or something. They were we knew about 2, like Avowed and Outer Worlds 2, but then they squeezed Grounded 2, I think, in there. I think. On that. But I
United
wouldn't be
said 3.
surprised if they still have another game that they release this year, even if it's a smaller one or possibly a remaster.
Yeah. I think one of the ones we know about will get a release date for this year. And then that'll be a game that's at this later direct that may be combined with Halo or something like that. Potentially.
Yeah.
Right. But then it's like, okay, what else is there? Because it could be both Clockwork and State of Decay.
Yeah. I mean, we know Elder Scrolls is not ready for this year, but do we see it at the showcase?
I think we see Elder Scrolls at the showcase. That's maybe wishful thinking, but Todd started to finally talk about it a little bit in interviews when he's doing stuff. So, like I know he's being being asked about it, but like it's been what 5 years since it was revealed that they were working on it or going to be working on it, and they put out Starfield, and he said most of the team is on Elder Scrolls now, and they're about to hit a major milestone. Maybe that coincides with having something ready for Summer Showcase. Maybe that milestone does.
That'd be
So
pretty cool.
yeah, to be able to see it, you know. So like, would it be early? Yeah, I don't think we're getting the game till 2028, but that would make sense for like a full hardcore, announce it 2026. You get a little bit more time to talk about it in 2027, and then with the release, with the full build up to 2028, because people will be talking about this game, the lead up of it for years.
Mhm.
Big games usually get that couple years like lead up. Be Nice as Doom DLC. Heard rumors of it almost being the size of a
Yeah.
sequel. So something else that's been rumored, Fuzzy, is Blade
Yeah.
will be there. I saw that rumor swirling around. Its time was revealed 2 or 3 years ago at the Keighley Showcase at
Mhm.
the Game Awards, I believe.
Yeah.
And nobody saw it coming except for it got leaked like a day before the show or the day of the show, and we were all like, "What the fuck?" And it was real. Like we couldn't believe that they're fucking making Blade. So as it had come out that development was going well on that game still, so they could show up. I think maybe that would be a 2027 game
Yeah. Yeah, I think
with
it's I think that's a game that winds up being your launch title slash cross gen title. So it'll be playable on the series consoles, but it'll be like one of the must buys for the Helix.
right. Ray Oid says, "Where's the Fallout 3 remaster?" They have. Remember, said they have multiple Fallout projects in the works right now,
Mhm.
so we could see a couple of Fallout announcements. All right, hold on. Would David Allen Bial Jr. says Forza Motorsport GT 2028. Is that
Mhm.
based on some kind of a rumor or something? Or is that like a just off the wall want? Because you're speaking my language, man, but like I don't know where that comes from. But if that were to happen, I'd be absolutely happy. Um, there's so many possibilities still, Fuzzy, of games that could be surprises. We still have Infinity Ward supposedly had another game that they had been working on. Elsewhere Entertainment, or I think is the name of that
Yeah.
studio, right? Is
Mhm.
another Activision one that we haven't seen anything from. You talk about Forza cities that's off the wall. I wouldn't mind them. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be Forza Motorsport or GT, but like I wouldn't mind them. Like at some point, talk about a reinvestment back into Forza Motorsport. You um, that would be sick. Wolfenstein, Fillmore Pocket says. What's Machine Games been
Yeah.
up to since Indiana Jones released? Double Fine could have something else.
I do think Double Fine will be another studio doing double duty because they'll have Kiln. But was Keeper the end of last year or beginning of this year?
End of last year, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So they'll have Kiln, and I do think we get to see keep on saying it's uh what's the one with Jack Black?
Brutal Legend.
Yeah, I think they're working on Brutal Legend 2 instead of Psychonauts 3. I think it's Brutal Legend 2
I'd
is
be
the one that they're
super
probably working
happy.
on.
Be super happy for that, man. That or I'd be happy with Psychonauts 3. That'd be fun too.
Yeah.
Be nice as Iron Galaxy's working on a Fallout project.
Yeah. Well, they kind of denied it, but it's like, why are you showing Fallout like stuff if you're not working on it? So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm under the impression there's something in the Fallout New Vegas universe
Yeah.
as far as whether it's a remake or a part two, but not called Fallout New Vegas 2. It's probably called something different. There is the Fallout 3 that we know has been worked on, and I wouldn't be surprised if NXL is doing, along with Clockwork Revolution, a remaster or a remake of Fallout 1 and 2 or something
Yeah.
along those lines.
That would make sense for them for sure. What about Killer Instinct, bro?
I so want a Killer Instinct 2 that has more of the Xbox IP characters in it. Like,
Yeah.
or even what was the thing when what's his name? Boone was talking about it on Twitter. It's like, all right, let's say they hired, NetherRealm to make it, and it has to be multi-plat. Get it so that you have a lot of Xbox characters. Maybe some of them are exclusive. Like, let's say some of the characters from Bleeding Edge; those would be Xbox exclusive. But uh, Blaskovich from Wolfenstein, he can be on all the platforms and stuff. But also see if you can't get Capcom characters, Mortal Kombat characters, SNK characters, like do collabs that way. Like if they were to do a collab with Tekken, even like just I know they're different fighting styles as far as their side scroll or three-dimensional world area, but I think you can make it work where you get characters from Tekken, Street Fighter, um, you know, uh, King of Fighters, things along those lines. Would be pretty awesome if they did that.
Yeah.
And I think that would make it so if they did make it a multi-plat, it would probably sell well in the sense that you're bound to find a fighter or a handful of fighters that would be worthwhile. And don't do the free to play. I mean, you could do it, but I don't think it works as well for fighters. I think charge $70, have 70 fighters in it. Maybe 35 of them are from Xbox or 40 of them are from Xbox, and then the other 30 are a mixture of Capcom, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, oh, even some from Virtual Fighter or something like that. I think that's the way you do it, and fill in the roster with those characters from other games, but have a solid roster of fighters in it. $70, I would definitely pay it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people would as well. And then
Oh
submit
yeah.
it to Evo since PlayStation no longer owns Evo. So
Yeah, I think Killer Instinct would be really cool. I think there's a lot they could do with that game if they really brought it back, in a big way. If they did get like NetherRealm to help, which like Ed Boon is always talking about Killer Instinct in one way or another. I think the question he had put is like, would you bring it back as a free to play or a full price? Like, I'd make it a full price game. Like you said,
Mhm.
a good size roster. I think you got enough Killer Instinct characters plus also the um, Xbox owned characters now you can throw in there. You can have ongoing content releases with fighter packs, and I think like ultimately it's just about being like mode complete at launch. Even if you do come out with stuff later, but like have an extensive amount of like good, like you want to have a good like arcade format, arcade style. You want to have a good like a campaign. I think would be great. You got to have a good multiplayer component with like a lobby system that's really well done.
Mhm.
And if you just have all those things and not do some like stupid weird release scheduling thing where it's like, hey, if you this week this player's free, this week this player's free, like, or like we're going
Yeah.
to download each individual character separately, all that kind of shit that some of these fighting games do. Just fucking release a fully featured badass fighting game and support it. And I think that's just your best bet. But Luis Jose had a good question in the chat. He this is a good question. He said, "So simple question for you both. How would you title the next Forza Motorsport game since the last one was just titled Forza Motorsport?"
Mm.
Okay, like, and here's the thing. I think this Forza Motorsport was originally created to be a platform.
Yeah.
Like, it was created as a foundation that they were going to support over the long term with updates, features, and stuff that was going to live a long time in the Xbox ecosystem and become like the feature racing game on PC and on console. What happened though is they released one that was a little half cooked. Took them maybe because of COVID or who knows what, but took them much longer to get out than anticipated. And they came out with some great updates and stuff, but compared to some past Forza Motorsport games, it was lacking in some areas with stuff to do not on the track. On the track, it's a master class,
Yeah.
but like it's everything outside of it, the customization, the way you're modifying the cars, like the way you're showing off your cars, all these other kind of things. It's like really kind of handicapped behind a really bland UI, boring kind of interface, and kind of lacks a little bit of character and stuff. So they kind of botched a lot of that keeps people hooked in, to living in that world as opposed to just I'm gonna go and race some races. When you're doing that, it's amazing, but it's got to have some other kind of things to grab people to really get a hold of them to grow into something big. And I think they kind of fell on their face with not doing those updates and what they needed to. And then when they axed half and turned 10 and announced that they were, no longer going to be doing major updates on Forza Motorsport, it was that was one of the biggest blunders that they've done this gen for me, because Forza Motorsport is one of your foundational games. Um, and it was a shame for them to treat it the way they did. Now, Forza Horizon has surpassed it in popularity by far, and that may be kind of why they went that direction. It's like, well, everybody likes Forza Horizon now. Why are we gonna keep investing into this? Well, it's like Forza Horizon wouldn't exist without Forza Motorsport.
Yeah.
And you have this other fan base that is that showpiece game kind of fan base of racing sim enthusiasts. And big blunder for them fucking that up. But with that being said, the way to do it, Fuzzy, you could do one of two things. You could announce that you're bringing back support for Forza Motorsport and doing a big overhaul, or you can end up making a new Forza Motorsport again. Do you think
Mm.
that will happen? First off, Or do you
not for
think
some
Forza?
time.
Do you think Forza Motorsport
I
right now is just back burner?
I mean, there's only a handful of things I'd want them to tweak or change with the current one, um, but some of that would also have to eventually spill over into Forza Horizon. Like I want them to be more comfortable with the PC modding space and
Mm-hmm.
make it so their official timed, multiplayer races are still certified where even mods won't be able to, you know, give anybody an unfair advantage. But I want them to open it up because if you look at a game like Assetto Corsa, it's a 13-year-old game and it's
Yeah.
still got more people playing that in all of the mods that are out there in different modes and things like that. And they can still make money off of the tracks and the car packs and things like that, but mod community is what keeps that thing alive. Like it has more people playing that than just about any other sim out there, other than if you want to look at the subscription stuff for iRacing. But I think if they open that door, allow people to import paint schemes, allow people to, you know, possibly take old tracks from like Apex, what was it, Forza 6, I think it was, Motorsport 6.
Mm-hmm.
That one had a couple of tracks that I don't think is in the current one. And then the same thing for Motorsport 7. There was a couple of tracks that aren't in the current one. If the mod community could make it so you could race on those tracks, I get it. It's a licensing thing. Just make it where it's like offline racing and you can do a friend code to bring 12 of your friends into the lobby or 23 of your friends into the lobby to race against them on that track, but allow that stuff and they will still keep that game alive and more people will wind up picking it up to be able to play it. But if they do make a new one, I want them to focus on license racing and grassroots kind of together. Like, just give me a moment. Imagine if it was like grassroots or from rags to riches. You can start racing like cars you can buy off the showroom floor, kind of thing.
Or
And you
yeah,
can
like
start with a
old
twenty
shitty
thousand dollar
used
budget.
cars. Yeah, let's go, man.
Yeah,
I'm all for
yeah.
that.
You start with like a $20,000 budget, and as you win more, you can go to 90, 100, 300,000 or whatever. And in the process, depending on how well you do, you get recognized by, like, let's say the Porsche Cup racing group, or maybe the MX5 Cup for IMSA recognizes you and is like, hey, you want to come race over here? And then that unlocks that whole career mode that you could do for that. Or you could just continue to do, racing until you make it all the way up to hypercars and stuff if you want. But the other, licensed racing fields open up as you get recognized more, or you can test your way or qualify your way in. Like, let's say you don't want to bother doing those, used car races or whatever. Let's say you want to try to go for GT3. You're the new rookie. All right, set a good lap time. Your target is a minute and 12 seconds for this track. Oh, you do a minute 14. You're not going to get the top rated team car, but you might get like a lesser car, and
Yeah.
you're one of those starting parks. You're at the back of the field, kind of thing, and make that part of the campaign where it's like, hey, if you are able to hop right in and do a GT3 and do a blazing lap time, all right, you get recruited on a probational basis with a top tier team. But you don't make it, hey, this driver has the flu this weekend. Can you sub for him? Sure. And then you only get like half the winnings if you get anything in winnings if you finish in a place position, kind of thing. But I think if they take that approach to it, that might lock more people in. That's I think what people were hoping more so from
Yeah.
motorsport, even though it kind of has that aspect, but
Not in the way
it,
it's
it doesn't
presented for
feel
going into the races. It's just like, hey, choose this, do it, choose that, do it, choose that, do it. It's not this like sense of like starting from the ground and like working your way to the top. It's more of like, hey, do this race, build up this car, right? As you're
yeah.
doing the series. Hey, do this next series, build up this car as you're doing that series, do the next series, build up this car as you're doing the
Mhm.
series. And it's like once you're done with the series, the car's still not completely built up yet, but you don't really have anything left to do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, do you either go take it online, or you can just do some random other races, redo the same series as over again, wait till that car can be in another series because they're all like handicapped based on certain qualifications, you know? Like the type of game you're talking about reminds me of like the original like Gran Turismo, you know, or
Yeah.
like or the first like Grid, you know,
Yeah.
like and like it's this the sense of progression that you get of feeling of accomplishment and progression and grind aspect to it, and don't like make it easy, you know, like hey, you may have to be in those trenches of these fucking like shitty races here making piddly diddly for like 3 or 4 different series before you're even, you know, looked at to be in just a slightly better one, you know, with
Mhm.
better, you know. And then hey, guess what, you still got to buy into it. You still got to buy into it. You still got to like maybe get a sponsor that helps with some of the cost. You still got to buy, you still got to have a card. Is your sponsor going to pay for the whole car? What's your budget? You know, you got to take your winnings and invest into it. So does that mean selling my old car? If you have to, you got to do it. You know, like that sense of risk versus reward, accomplishment, progression, and has been lost for the most part on these racing games for a long time. And that would be the way to bring it back. But it's like I don't know if they'll do it, Fuzz. Like,
Yeah.
now,
It's a tough sale because it's a
yeah,
smaller group. Like we're the type that would be perfect for that, but
yeah.
are you going to sell a million copies? 2 million? Is 2 million copies,
I
4 million copies enough?
I think
I
if
mean, you
it's
could probably get eight
done,
million players, but
yeah.
are you selling 8 million copies?
I think if it's done right, you can. It just has to be
Yeah.
like it has to be good enough and so good enough and gripping that it's talked about and people are like, oh my god, this is fucking awesome, you know. Then at that point, you know, you grow. It's like with any big games, it just it feels like sometimes that these games are trying to do too much and they end up like not doing it really much at all because they're trying to do too much. And it's like they really focus on something really core and essential, then you can grow from it. You could grow after the game's released from it. Release there. Hey, then this you have simple multiplayer component. Oh, but hey, now you can add this component to it. Then you can add this to it, and it grows over time. It's like these games trying to do everything out the gates with and it's sometimes this doesn't click, you know, or doesn't grab everybody. Man, but I don't know, dude. For what would be the title? Uh,
Rags to riches. It
for
would have to be something along the lines of like, I guess just call it echelon because you're, rising through the ranks kind of thing. But yeah, or just hit the reset button again and call it Motorsport, X. Is it
yeah,
Motorsport 10 or is it just Motorsport X? Oh, we kind of skipped one of
Forza
them. We skipped 8, so we're just going to skip from 8 to 10, kind of like the way Windows did.
Forza Motorsport Rise. I don't know. Like you're gonna have to come up with some other name. You can't do 2. You know, you can't do like 9 or 10. You know, but you said
Yeah.
X. Like maybe X is the answer. Forza X. Just bring it back. Or you could do like, hey, it's an addition to Horizon. Like you could do a more circuit based kind of story based campaign like career thing as one of the
Mhm.
expansions to Horizon for each game that they do. So like this one could be focused on the Tokyo like Japanese like culture and like circuits and stuff like that. Maybe have focus more on drifting and like mountain courses, or you have like tuner cars, you know,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then you go into the next Forza Horizon, you could be wherever it's at. You could be focused more on that kind of circuit stuff. You know, I don't know, but bring it back, man.
Yeah. They definitely need to at some point. Like Assetto Corsa, the newest one. I forget what they even call that. I think it's the Assetto Corsa Evo. Um, when that goes to its 1.0 release, which is probably going to be a year from now, that's going to probably be the de facto PC sim racer that the mod community will once again lift up and build for the next 10 years kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, Fuzz, lots of possibilities at this showcase coming up. We'll have lots of time for more speculation on it. That's for damn sure. I think we'll be in store for some surprises, and I think we're both in agreement on that. I have no clue what they could be. But I do say we'll get some release dates for things we already know about. That'll be maybe either sooner than people expect, like this year. It's maybe some for 2027. I think we'll have some new games announced that will be for 2027 and beyond, probably. And maybe those are Helix games, you know? So stay tuned for that. Well, Fuzzy, all we have left is Tidbits, if you're up for doing that.
Yeah. Me seconds here.
Luis Jose says, love and respect Umbra, but Unreal deserves more slander. Man, it started off rocky this gen. I think the second half of this gen has started to pick up some better traction where things are showing a little bit better. But yeah, I like we said early, go back and listen to our fucking episodes. Everybody's talking about Unreal. Unreal. I'm like, fuck. I don't want everything to be Unreal. And I think those feelings were warranted. As we see other engines be amazing in the gaming world, it doesn't have to be, everything doesn't have to be fucking Unreal. And things aren't more awesome and exciting just because they're in fucking Unreal Engine. You know, it comes down to the devs.
What engine is Crimson Desert? Is that Unreal or is that their own?
I think it's their own thing. That's just what I think about Quake. I think Quake is gonna happen, but it's like Wolfenstein or Quake.
Yeah.
Well, like
I think need to do another Wolfenstein for the trilogy.
id makes one, Machine Game makes the other. And Machine Games makes Wolfenstein, but like I think they would be good for Quake also, but like maybe id just goes and does Quake now. I don't know, guys. Let's see. Joining the activity.
All right, we're ready.
Oh, I forgot to play my little Tidbits thing. It's okay though. What the hell? I'm in the activity, but it's a black screen.
All right. Yeah, let me start it. All right. This first one is Cursed Words, coming to PC today for $13.49.
Oh, by the way, this is Tidbits, a segment where we look ahead at the games releasing for the week. It's like a crossword kind of thing.
Yeah.
Banana. Is this a roguelike crossword puzzle?
I think so.
Oh my god. It's kind
of looking at like a Balatro of Scrabble.
Oh, Kate, I might be into this shit. Dude, this is a roguelike crossword. It's like Balatro crosswords. Oh my god, yeah.
See, this is one of those games that just comes to PC first and comes to console later. When the Helix comes out, this will be one of those that will get day and date with PC as well.
Yeah. It's called Cursed Words. It's on PC. Yeah, perfect.
Right, this next one is Darwin's Paradox, coming to PS5, Series X and S, Nintendo Switch 2, as well as PC today for $24.99.
Nice. I think it's like 30% cents. No, it's not free. Is it free?
I don't think this one is in any of the subscription services yet.
Darwin's Paradox.
This next one is I Am Jesus Christ, coming to PC this Thursday for $13.48. Basically, you get to walk on water and perform miracles.
Your hour has come.
This actually has very positive reviews on Steam.
What have we to do with you, Jesus
Yeah.
of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us?
I think it has like
Get up, take your mat, and go home.
10 times the amount of players that Concord ever had.
Be quiet, Jesus
Yeah.
said sternly. Come out of him.
It might wind up surpassing Marathon at some
If
point.
it's you, Peter replied, tell me to come to you on the water. Come.
Finally, we are meeting the Son of God, who wants to save all humans.
Are you the Messiah, the Son of God?
Happy Easter, everybody.
This next one is Motion Wreck, coming to PS5 and Nintendo Switch today for $7.99.
I like the 8-bit music style.
Mm-hmm. These are fun but frustrating at times.
Yeah. Motion Wreck? So it said.
Yep. This next one is Nippets, coming to PC on Tuesday for $24.99.
The sausage never considered itself a fast food, he said. Whoa, what was that guy doing in there?
Yeah, this one I think is adult themed to some extent.
Oh. Nip it in the butt. Nip It's a hidden object game. Kate would like this one too. It's on Steam.
Yep.
WKRX
All right, this next one is People of Note, coming to PS5, Series X and S, Switch 2, as well as PC this Tuesday for $24.99 as well.
Different, something new.
I gotta be better. I gotta be better than this. I gotta go get it. I gotta put everything in. I'm treading water instead of getting stronger, and I don't know why.
We're gonna need more than 2 people for a full band.
We can combine different genres together.
I wanna be under the lights. I wanna be thunder.
I'm confused what genre this is.
I think it's a mix of like music fighter or music puzzler.
Because it's like looks like a turn-based like RPG, but then it's showing like rhythm. People of Note, a turn-based RPG musical. Okay. Never seen anything like that. Who says nobody has new ideas? Come on, guys.
All right, this next one is probably the biggest one this week. Starfield, finally coming to PS5 this Tuesday for $49.99.
What did you say? Starfield on PS5? Blasphemy. Buzz.
But the galaxy is at our fingertips.
I didn't want what's his name to be right.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody did. That's the only reason I wish it never happened. It's just out of spite for that fuck.
Yeah.
However, he was saying that way before the strategy ever shifted, so it's like, you know, it's sometimes things work out in the long run by accident for dumbasses, you know.
He will not survive. Shoes up! Take him down!
This is gonna be fun.
A pilot is only
Curious to see what the reviews will be like for it on PS5 with the DualSense. Will that be the game changer for the game?
Only as useful as
The
its
DualSense? Oh, probably not.
Well, I almost guarantee it'll score higher than it did.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't think this was ever a bad game. Although I know some people didn't like certain aspects of it.
Together,
I love this game. This was like my favorite Bethesda title. It actually kind of made me reevaluate Fallout 4 again. 'Cause I didn't like Fallout 4 when I first played it when it first came out. But after going back after playing this, a lot more tolerable, I guess you could say. But there's something special about this game, being a sci-fi fan.
There is no use resisting. Hostile.
I got the flash drive.
Annihilating. We are the Terran Armada, and none shall stand in our way.
Hey,
One
all
thing
you
we must
PlayStation guys,
always
go buy
remember.
this game. It's amazing.
The wonders of this universe have no limits.
The more of you that buy it, the more updates and support we get for it long term.
Yeah.
Go buy it.
I think it's one of the most pre-ordered games right now on PlayStation.
Yeah. I wonder how Pisser's gonna do on it. I bet everybody
Why
can't
do
wait
all
to
the
find
stars
that
look
Digital
dull?
Foundry video.
Right, this next one is TR49. Coming to Nintendo Switch this Tuesday for $6.99.
Code on the front change.
Oh, that's right. There are codes for everything. There must be a code to wake it up.
The screen lit up, but it's not good. I can't read it.
I can't read that shit either. It's fucking.
This place is made out of vacuum tubes and relays, so no.
Half this entry is corrupted.
I think the machine's trying
Like
to
playing like
protect
a
us.
word crack game.
It contains a mixture of books, journals, letters.
In the beginning
was the word.
There are books inside this thing.
It chews them up, swallows them all.
This is the title that goes with this code. I got one.
Holy shit! I would not be able to do this.
I've got my notebook ready.
What kind of palace is this?
The daughter disappeared. There's a face in
But you wouldn't want to be a spy back in World War II era?
Are we even safe down here?
What's going on?
I mean, I like the idea of decoding stuff. You know what I mean? It's pretty fun, but like, I can get to like
It's like the machine won't let the world stop dreaming.
not giving up until I get it, and like even if you're stuck for like hours and hours, and it can be frustrating for me for some of those games.
Yeah. But this next one here is Chain Staff, coming to PS4 and 5, Xbox One, Series X and S, Nintendo Switch and PC this Wednesday for $14.99.
I like the colors.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like SNES era.
Mm-hmm. Another one of those games that plays great on like the handheld.
Yeah.
Now this next one we might have to skip around because it's a 6-minute video, but this is Pokemon Champions coming out on Wednesday on Nintendo Switch. It shows its current price at $79.99.
What?
I think that's a misprint
Okay.
because it didn't say if that was digital or physical.
This game is all about battles. Compete online against players from across the world.
That's fucking mind-blowing.
Pokemon
A game like
you've
this could be that price.
I mean, Pokemon is popular, but
It's
normally their Pokemon games are a lot
There are
cheaper.
two ways to obtain battle-ready Pokemon. The first is by connecting to the Pokemon Home app. Transfer your Pokemon from games in the Pokemon RPG series and the Pokemon Go app to Pokemon Home. Then link the app to this game.
I guess you could take the progress from other ones.
The second way is via Recruit.
Okay, wait.
Choose one Pokemon to recruit once per day from a random selection of Pokemon that appear in the game. Recruited Pokemon.
It's a free to
can only
start
be used
game?
in Pokemon Champions for a
I
certain
don't
amount
understand.
of time.
Unless the $79.99 is to buy all the other Pokemon games that you have to.
I think
After you gather your Pokemon, choose
I think
for the
it's
stuff
free
free.
form your
to
team.
play, and then like there's like
Before battle,
extra
you'll be able to see
stuff
your
you can
opponent's
get
team
within it.
and vice versa. And choose
It's like a
the
members-
Pokemon you want to use for the impending match.
For a battle pass, you can do $6.99 a
Consider
month
which
or
Pokemon
$50
your
for a
opponent will
year.
use.
Mm.
Then
The
select
base
your
game's
own
free to
Pokemon
play.
to start the battle.
There's a starter pack for $10. I don't know why it says
Players
on
alternate turns with moves.
the site
Win by
$80.
reducing the HP of all your opponent's Pokemon to 0.
Yeah. It's like on their page, it had it as not available, which Nintendo's usually pretty good at showing the pricing. But when you go to
Use Mega Evolution to
read the
power up
page
your Pokemon.
in like code, I guess in case they decide to hide the price, it was saying $79.99.
With Mega Evolution,
Unless that was just a
Pokemon will get
placeholder
abilities
kind of thing.
brand new to the series.
We're gonna skip ahead.
So it's completely free to play,
There are also
although you
different
need a
battle
Nintendo Switch
formats.
Online
Use
membership. But there is like
But by
additional
using VP,
purchases for
you
like the
can
battle
recruit
passes
multiple
and stuff like
times.
that. So it's a free to play
Keep
game.
in mind that recruited Pokemon are only available
Free to play game
for
with battle
1 week.
passes.
But with VP, any recruited Pokemon will be permanently added.
Basically, you pay for the online, you pay for the battle pass.
Yeah. BT Maverick wants to know, what was that 2D side-scrolling shooter?
In the shop.
The Mantis?
Oh, the 2D side scrolling was
Vegas Stones for your Pokemon.
Chain Staff.
Chain Staff.
You can
And
also
it's
get
basically on everything.
and looks
PS4
for your
and
trainer.
5, Xbox
Different
One,
Pokeball
Series X and
throwing
S,
styles.
Nintendo Switch, and PC.
Battle music.
Alright, we don't need the battle
Available
music
April
part.
8th on the Nintendo Switch system. Champions. Available April 8th on the Nintendo Switch system.
I've never heard that before. Free to start?
Yeah, that's a weird setup.
Yeah.
Opens like one of your letters.
Alright, this next one is the House of Hikmah.
That
Coming to
door.
PC this Wednesday for $24.99.
Did you say
I run
Ligma?
after your shadow through this place that remembers
Hikmah.
Oh,
I think
Hikmah,
that's how you
okay.
pronounce it.
Alright, they said Ligma.
you. You left me no instructions. Just the echo of your step to follow. We once solved everything together. Any problem, any puzzle, any small thing. The scholars offer me guidance,
Looks like a lot of puzzles
Yeah.
but their wisdom is not enough.
with platforming.
There's a door.
I'm gonna send this to Pong and suggest he play it.
Behind it, the silence is almost your voice. Perhaps it holds the answers.
Doesn't he hate puzzles?
Yeah, he hates
Perhaps it holds
platformers
you.
and puzzles.
This next one is The Occultist. Coming to PS5, Series X and S, and PC this Wednesday for $26.99.
Things no one should ever face.
Unreal Engine. Oh, everybody's on Unreal. Holy shit, let's go.
Godstone.
Guess the key question, will it have those micro stutters?
Oh, yeah, you see that?
Yeah, it's a feature. It's part of the
Shadows of the
special
past
effects.
nipping at your heels.
Is that Jonathan Rhys Meyers? Looks like Jonathan Rhys Meyers.
We went from being in a bar to being in some home.
Looking through a crystal thing? Ah!
I went in search of my father, but what I found was a curse
I ain't going
that
in there.
binds
Fuck that.
everything, living or dead. Running from what haunts you gives it power.
Turn that frown upside down. You wanna play a game?
I am the occultist.
That's it. That's it for this week.
Yeah.
Not a bad list. I would say Starfield is definitely the standout.
Yeah. I see you ended it on the horror game.
Yeah.
Great.
It was a matter of timing, but
That's awesome.
it looks like it would be a fun one as well.
Prince Green says, play the demo on Steam. It's okay. Spooky game, and it runs well on PC. That's awesome. Well, maybe I will never check that out. We need another Saw game. Was there a Saw game?
I don't remember. So I remember there was a collab between what's that one that they had like all the different horror collabs and stuff with. I forget the name of it now.
Well,
I keep on thinking of
Dead by
Friday the
Daylight.
13th and Halloween. Yeah, Dead by Daylight. Yeah,
They have like little jigsaw.
they had like a
puppet
Saw
rolling around.
collab.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Cool. Well, hey, not a bad week. There's some interesting things there. You could play the Jesus game, or you could play the horror
Tidbits.
game, or you could play Nippets. You could play curse words.
Yeah.
Lots of little interesting, lots of variety this week. That's for sure. You got 2D side scroller. You got platform puzzlers, all kind of stuff. And yeah. Anyway, we'll be back next week for more stuff. Hopefully, we get some other cool news leading up to next week. We'll have some fun on that show. But thanks for joining tonight, Fuzz. It was fun conversations. We got some early speculation into the showcase, which I love. But tell everybody where they can find your Rainbows and Rants, sir.
Well, as always, love doing this on Thursdays with you. Just love talking about the industry and all the games that we got to look forward to and showcases and whatnot. It's a great time to be a gamer, and backlog just keeps on stacking up. So clear that backlog. If you want to hear my rambles and rants, just follow me on social media. Fuzzy Belvedere. Just do a search for that. You'll be able to find me. And yeah, we have a horror podcast tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern time, for Fright Night with Ferocious Fee. I forget what even movie we're supposed to be doing because I'm so focused on Saturday making a movie that it's like I'm scatterbrained right now. So it is what it is. But as always, love doing this with you, Mav.
Yeah, man.
Tell everybody where they can find you as well.
Thanks for doing this as well, Fuzzy. And yeah, if you guys want to check me out, go to Twitter. Fun speculation there. I do have a TikTok, which I forgot about until somebody mentioned it in the chat. Luis, I think it was you. Fun speculation there as well. And if you want to join our Discord, we chat there every once in a while also. And besides that, here on Thursdays with Fuzzy, and sometimes we random stream, play a game. I have some stuff I gotta still do on the channel. I haven't got it done yet. I'm a procrastinator with that stuff. Got a lot of busy real things going on, so stay tuned. You may see a couple videos pop up, may see a couple streams pop up. I'll try and keep you informed and let you know before it happens. Until then, see you later. Hope you all have a good one. Play some fucking awesome games, guys. There's so much to play. Peace out. Bye.